10 days with no coronavirus.
Woo!
Right? Yes! So hopefully this is the end, maybe not of coronavirus just yet, but hopefully this is the end of, I don't know, hotel quarantine. Maybe we can go back to home quarantine. Imagine that being a blessing. Home quarantine, wow. Or like the end of border restrictions, let's hope. Anyway, so I was thinking about this theme, this is the end, and all that was coming to mind were people I know that have died, you know, friends I've lost, things people I'll never see again, ends of happy times. And I was thinking, God, is there something positive I can think of? Some kind of ending that's actually positive. And it occurred to me that one positive ending I had was the closing session with a therapist on the NHS. I was prescribed in 2018. I was prescribed 6 months of psychotherapy on the NHS for persistent suicidal ideation. And I had the closing session, and I don't quite know how, but it had worked. The therapy had really helped me. And so it was important to have this closing session and talk about it. And I'll talk about that more in a little bit. But first of all, as you might know if you're from the UK or US, it's Pride Month at the moment. It's not in Hong Kong. So I've been seeing a lot of social media posts about Pride Month. And one I saw was how many films are there, like mainstream kind of Hollywood films, where the main, like queer films, where the main couple are together and alive at the end of the movie. And this post recorded 16. There's 16 films. So now, don't get me wrong. We all love movies where two people fall in love and one of them slowly dies of AIDS. It's fantastic. It's historic. It's tragic. We live for it, right? It's great drama. But we also like to see some trashy rom-coms where the couple don't die and have a good time, you know? There's a little difficulty and then they're together. And the reason I was thinking about this was because there's also a recent NBC article that suggests that suicide is 5 times more common among gay and bisexual men. And I'll come back to the men in a second. But as you may already know as well, especially in the UK, for trans people, suicide is through the roof. It's about half of young trans people in the UK have either thought about or I think actually attempted suicide. In the UK, suicide does affect women very badly. It's 4 women on average every day in the UK die by suicide. It's 4 women every day. That's a population of 65 million. In the UK, it's 12 men die every day by suicide. Yeah, so it's triple that for men. And as I say, a disproportionate number of those are queer in some way. And why do I know this? Well, why do I have these stats just dropping off the top of my head? Before I came to Hong Kong, before COVID, for many years I've been volunteering with this great charity in London called Beyond Equality. And so we do workshops just for boys in school, just teenage boys, and invite them to share their feelings about pressures on them, maybe with regards to bullying, or how they're expected to treat one another, how they're expected to dress, and the kind of pressures on them to take risks and to bottle feelings up and that kind of thing. And so, you know, as part of the training, we get told all about these mental health stats and like why we're specifically, there's like 1 million charities specifically doing PSHE workshops for girls, and there's like 1 doing it for boys, which is this Beyond Equality workshop. So I knew all of these things, and what I found was sort of throughout 2017, I was doing these workshops and being like, you know, we all have, these teenagers, like we all have bad days, and you know, if you're feeling down, like you can talk to someone, you can go and get help, there's help out there. So I'd had all the training, and then meanwhile I was like, but I'll be dead in a week, you know? And I really think it's because of this training that I did seek help. In the UK, we have free healthcare. So I went to, eventually, after some time, I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, well, look, you're 27, you're male, you're queer, you're basically in like the number one bracket of like most likely to, apart from trans, like the second most likely bracket for suicide. So, you know, I think what you're describing is quite normal, and I would like you to be referred. So I had another referral, and then I went on for this, ended up getting prescribed this 6 months. And yeah, I don't quite know how the therapy worked, because I'm pretty open and I talk to my friends a lot, but somehow every time I finished the therapy session, I just felt very shaken up, like really shaken up by it, which I don't, I guess, when I'm speaking to someone I know. And so it came to the closing session. He was like, look, I'm really pleased with all the progress you made. And I was really scared. And I said, I don't want this to be the end of the therapy, because just because I feel motivated now, and I feel back to myself again, and I feel like I have direction, like, you know, what if my brain is weak? What if I go back to that mode of thinking? And he said, well, for a start, you're stronger than you were. So you've actually learned a lot through this therapy process, and you're better at talking about your feelings. You're more reflective than you were. You know more what you're doing. And he said, and the other thing is that while this is our closure for this 6 months you were prescribed, this doesn't have to be the last therapy session you have. And I thought, okay. And in fact, it wasn't. I then, of my own free will, I decided to actually, I got this for free. And honestly, I was thinking this: if I lived in a country with easy access to guns and no free healthcare, I don't think I would be alive today. True story. So God bless the NHS and gun control. But you know, sorry, I'm just. So yes, I did actually get therapy again. So I guess what I want to say is, even though that was the closing session of that therapy, it was, as cheesy as it sounds, the beginning of me beginning to take better care of myself and look after my brain. Thank you.